So let me introduce my guest. Actually, before that, screw these guys. I haven't promoted Nutricon enough. So this podcast is sponsored by Nutricon. I think this episode, this month, actually, 20% off. You can get 20% off on all your orders if you use the code BEACHBODY. Beachbody online Nutricon at checkout, and you can save 20% off. Everyone else offers you guys 10%. You know, watch the podcast and you can get 20% off. So we got the South African Chris Bumstead. He's changed his name to K-Bum.
I have not.
K-Bum. I like that. I actually like that. I feel like in the next 5 weeks, don't you just want to change it for that? Just for the change. Just to see who in the bodybuilding industry is going to rip him.
We've got K-Bum, and then our other guest over here is Oscar Pistorius. He's got the same leg.
No, but you can't say Oscar Pistorius because his carbon fiber blades are at least you can walk properly with him. Can't you? Yeah, you can.
Isn't he in jail?
No, he's out, bro.
Oh.
I think.
I was going to say, he's not walking much at all.
He can walk better than what I can.
Well, he's
so
not
it's fine.
walking, that's for sure.
Yeah, he walks better than what I do, so it's fine.
So today, another Banter Podcast, something that we enjoy doing and people enjoy listening to. So, yeah, Kieran and I are 5 weeks out. My fight is done and I can just focus on bodybuilding. But this week I have been struck with a severe fever that I haven't been able to train. I trained like twice this week.
So to clear it up, it's not COVID, eh?
I don't know. I've had my vaccine, but I mean, I'm not going to get tested. I'm better now, so it's 3 days.
I know, then it's fine. We'll just go with it at any
We'll
case.
just say it's not, but at the end of the day,
if it is, well,
today will be my second training session for the week, and it's Friday, which is sad. At 5 weeks out.
yeah. But look, I mean, you've done a lot of boxing training.
I was going to say the conditioning's definitely there.
Yeah, I agree with Kieran. The conditioning's there. You've done. Let's say you've done all the cardio for the rest of your training. I used to focus on weights. Don't
enough
bother
cardio
about
for like
cardio.
4.5 preps.
Yes, I've done a lot of cardio, and that's the problem with all that boxing training was, I mean, I haven't done chest 12, or after this week it'll be 13 weeks. I haven't done an upper body session in like 5 weeks. I haven't been able to train shoulders.
And it's scary how you haven't gotten like small.
But that's also the thing with boxing, like you're using your muscles a lot. Like you're hitting a hard bag. It's like punching a wall almost, you know. So you're gonna.
And also when you're boxing, it uses your like your biceps, your triceps, your shoulders, your chest.
I think everything's working, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at boxers, you know, obviously there's different weight categories, but almost all boxers have a good build and good muscle tone. You know, they're all well built, and a lot of boxers don't do weights. You know, there are a lot of people that do weights. And that's also one of the things that I struggled with boxing was, you know, because of all the weights I was doing, how slow I was. And like trying to have speed, bro. Speed when you just go to the gym and lifting weights, like speed suffers, you know, as an like a sprinter back in school. Like if you had to go run 100 meters now, you're probably going to add like 5-6 seconds onto your time you used to run in school.
I mean, in school I was running, 10:3?
That's fast.
So I don't know what I'd
probably running like 20.
Yeah.
I was going to say, it was also about, 25 odd kilos ago. So.
Yeah, he's no longer aerodynamic. He's not aerodynamic anymore.
Yeah.
The muscles
I think I'll still be quick though.
His back wings have
I think
flared out
quick.
over there. He's not aerodynamic for shit. He's not running 10-3.
But
Maybe 12.
if you watch, I was actually watching a video of Logan Franklin. It was some training video, but he was running on the athletics track. And I was like, this guy actually looks stupid. Like his form just looks terrible. Like he just looks like a bodybuilder running.
Yeah.
You know, like you see bodybuilders.
Is something you just have to like learn.
Yeah. And you see like, I know Dark Sport, they were doing a video, like a promotion video where like all their athletes were running.
Yeah.
And I was watching, I was like, you can see these guys actually don't run. They
They've
don't
got no
run.
idea what they're doing, yeah.
Oh, gosh, bro. No.
Chris, how's your running going, bro?
To be honest, bro, listen, now speaking of
there.
that, today I did a little jog at school because I had to go get to invigilation quickly. But I haven't yet mastered it. I've made progress. So I'm able to cycle now. So I can cycle. I've mastered that. Now I'm on the elliptical machine.
Yo.
Have you ever done 10 minutes on an elliptical machine?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever gone near an
You've probably
elliptical
done
machine.
that. I don't think you've ever done
Yeah,
that.
I don't think I've
Bro,
done.
10 minutes on an elliptical machine is hell. I break such a sweat, but I think it's all just got to do with, from the elliptical machine, I'll move on to the treadmill because I've got to learn how to run properly. Like I've tried myself, but it just feels weird. Like my feet just feel like they aren't lifting up enough. I don't know.
Well,
I feel like a retard. Put it that way.
The elliptical's a good machine, bro. I know when I was doing cardio, gym-based cardio, I would do the elliptical machine because you say it's difficult, but I found it easier and I would burn the same amount of calories as walking, but I would feel less tired. Like I would do 10 minutes and it would be like, that was so easy. It was literally just like, going through the motions, whereas walking, like it feels more physical. Yeah. Well, so I was burning the same amount of calories and putting myself in a deficit, but then still obviously not working hard, which is good.
I like the treadmill for
treadmill
cardio,
is better.
For prep.
Put the hoodie on, feel like
not
you're
even
actually in the
because
trenches.
Because it's also, I feel like, for me, I'm able to bring a lot more detail out in like your glutes and your hamstrings and stuff. Because when I walk in the treadmill, I don't just walk, like I squeeze my glutes like every time I step.
You're holding in a fart.
No, I did. I was at the gym yesterday. I went on the elliptical machine, but there was no power. Bro.
And then you farted?
No, I didn't fart, please. So I went on the elliptical machine and there was no power. So you can't adjust the effort level or anything. So it was cruising, it was going like this. Steph looks at me, she goes, "What the hell are you doing? Your ass is sticking out and everything." Well, all I was trying to do is like just slow it down a little bit. Huh?
Were you sweating?
No, I needed 2 minutes, bro, to be honest.
Sure.
I did rowing though, but I was like,
don't overexert yourself now with 2 minutes, Chris.
yeah, no, that's a long time, bro. Hey, listen,
2 minutes on effort level 0, bro. That's going.
I am unfit, my bro. Like when I say I'm unfit, this whole injury and all of that stuff, dude, I'm unfit. If I have to go do, like, if I obviously can walk, but if I had to go do 10 minutes on the treadmill for cardio, I'll die. I'll honestly die. I am. Yeah, unfit is if there's anything further than being extremely unfit,
when I was doing like the actual proper, like let's say the week of the fight, my resting heart rate was 46. And that's very low.
Yeah, I was gonna say
that is very low. Yeah. And then now it's like 60, bro. Like that's just drastic in a week. I mean, I fought last week on Friday.
But you also
exactly a week ago. No, Friday.
Was it Friday?
Yeah, exactly.
It was Friday.
Yeah, exactly.
But you also did say that when you were training, your heart rate hit 190. You almost fucking died.
But that was
also very high.
That was during sparring though, so that was like
that's still
fight or flight situation.
I've hit about 180 before, and I'm like.
It takes a lot of strain on your heart. Yeah. I mean, your heart is under a lot of pressure when your heart. I mean, my average heart rate in boxing training sessions is 170 for a full hour.
Yes, that's
like that is hectic. Like
the calories you burn must be crazy.
Yeah, I was burning like 1,000 calories in 45 minutes. Whereas if I wear my watch. Whereas if I do legs, like an intense leg workout, it's like 600, 700.
700. Yeah.
So I mean, that's like 400 calories more in about the same amount of time. Because your heart, I mean, in legs, my heart rate's maybe like 145 average. Obviously, like spikes it to 180 during squats or whatever. But then you have those rest periods. Whereas boxing is just flat out for 45 minutes. Yeah. But I mean, now that I'm done boxing, bro, there's such a weight lifted off my shoulders.
Oh, you must be feeling good now.
I'm feeling good, but this week I haven't felt good because I've been sick.
The week's been a bit of a stuff.
Yeah.
But maybe the reason why you've been sick is because you've put so much strain on your body.
That's exactly what I said to him as well. Your body needs a break.
And now all of a sudden it's gone from one extreme of intense training to sudden relaxation.
From doing 14 sessions a week for the last 3-4 months. Makes sense. And like your body's eventually going to be like, okay, whoa.
Yeah. Well, I was chatting to, obviously I'm not going to say mine is on the same level, but a guy who did the Tour de France. He was actually on the podcast, Ryan. He said, like, after they do the Tour de France, because, they're cycling, over 100 Ks for 30 days. Like, that's ridiculous. Yeah. Then he says the moment they stop, like, their body doesn't actually want to stop anymore because they've just been continuously just going. He says, like, they just get so sick and their body almost shuts down because it's so used to going.
Your body down so much.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense, bro.
And hopefully now I've beaten it, but now this shoulder injury is
because also when you train that much, that hard for that long, your immune system also takes a knock.
Yeah. And it's also such, like, I mean, most people obviously say, like, don't do too much HIIT training because your immune system does take a knock. Yeah. I mean, especially with bodybuilding prep, you must do like max 3 HIIT sessions a week of like sprints for cardio or whatever. Yeah. You mustn't do more than that because because you're in such a calorie deficit, your immune system's low, and doing so much HIIT, your immune system is going to go down. Then you're just going to make yourself sick. And I mean, when you're sick, either you don't want to eat or you do want to eat. And with bodybuilding, your diet is
have
the
to
thing
eat.
you have to eat, or you have to follow your structure.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the story with your shoulder now? What have you done, bro?
So-
Rotator cuff, I'll call it.
Yeah.
I'm calling it.
Yeah, so I probably like the last 3 weeks before the fight, my left, because obviously left shoulder you're jabbing all the time, you're using your left arm
Yeah.
the most. So that was just overuse, and then it was pulling into my trap, and then I was icing it and stretching, and just like a week before the fight, 2 weeks before the fight, just trying to get it. Like literally, I was just like, I just want to be able to get through this fight, because I did a sparring session where I could barely even hold my arm up anymore. Like I would have to literally lift my arm like this to turn up the volume in my car. Like it was bad. Then for the fight, obviously because of the adrenaline, you push through that pain.
I was gonna say the pain kind of
There's no pain during the fight,
Yeah.
but then after the fight, your body's just like, bro, you have killed me. And like I promise you, I couldn't sleep. The 2 nights after the fight, I literally just sat on the couch in the evening and tried to sleep upright, because I couldn't lie on my right hand side because the left was too sore. I couldn't lie on the left, couldn't lie on my back. It was bad. And I've been going to the chiro now, and we've been needling it. That's sore because she goes in there with the needle, and then the whole muscle twitches, and then a few hours after the session you're super tight. So I went yesterday. I can lift my arm like this, but I can't. I know I can't lift a proper weight above yet.
That just
So-
gives me chills when I think.
So I mean, I'm gonna try do arms today. Tomorrow I'll do legs, but I mean, I'm going on stage not even showing my legs. So, like, but I mean, as long as I can burn calories and exercise.
Yeah. You have to.
Oh no, dude, that gives me such chills thinking of that. Like, I feel like after my injury, everything that any pain related stuff, I get chills down my spine. When you just speak about needles going into, I'm just like, ugh.
But you do take
It's
health
just-
for
it's
granted.
like- Oh
100%. Definitely.
no,
You take, like, even if your nose is blocked, like, remember the days when my nose wasn't blocked? That was amazing.
Well, speaking of having a nose, I watched a video yesterday. One of my colleagues showed me. So this guy's holding like a sausage. I don't know why in his mouth, but his friend.
Because that's a bit inappropriate to be watching.
I knew you were gonna say that. Just relax yourself.
Why is this what you watch in your free time, bro?
This was. Wait till I'll tell you the juicy
Men
part,
eating
bro.
sausage.
So this O's got a sausage in his mouth, and his mate is standing there with a samurai sword, trying to chop the sausage.
Yeah.
He misses the sausage and cuts this oak's nose.
Legit.
I promise you, I wish I had the video, I'll show you. I actually get it. And he cuts this oak's nose, and you just check the nose, like loosen up like that and rip off like this, and it's hanging on this side.
Sure.
Dude, it was the most disgusting. And then they show a hospital footage of like the close-up of how his nose looks. Oh, it looks disgusting, bro. It was the worst video I've ever seen in my life.
You
But
still
it-
eat the sausage?
No.
No. Okay.
No, I wouldn't. Fuck that. My nose just got chopped off, bro.
And also now my nose, so I've torn my septum. So that's another
did you
thing
get
from getting punched. So during sparring, I don't know if you saw the photo I posted, like all the blood was over my shirt.
Yeah, I saw.
So that was, I assume it was then. So I had my right hand side cauterized so that it doesn't bleed anymore, because I get bad nosebleeds. Then he says, like, after 3 weeks or 4 weeks, you can come to your left.
Yeah.
So then I went to sparring, within the course of those 4 weeks. Then I got hit, and my nose bled terribly, like it showed in those photos. Then I went to him a few weeks after that, and he's like, I can't cauterize your left because you've torn your septum in your nose. He's like, you've torn it straight, so we don't have to operate. But if you get hit again, it could be hit skew, and then we have to operate. Then he says, obviously, I can't cauterize the left because the septum needs blood flow in that area to heal. So then he's like, you're just going to have to risk getting nosebleeds in the fight. Unfortunately, in the fight,
Yeah.
there was a little bit of blood, but it was fine.
Was
So,
there?
so now I've got a torn septum. Yeah, there was a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Big question. Are you gonna fight again, bro? I think that's the big question.
Dude, probably not. I'll be dead on it. Now I'm a bit put off it because I worked so hard towards it. Like I worked harder for that than I have for anything in my life. Because it's so do or die. Like
Yeah.
you can't not work for a fight. Like it's a
Yeah,
fight.
No, you have
Yeah.
to,
Exactly.
So like with bodybuilding you can do certain things and still get away with it, because like obviously on show day you might not look as good if you did those certain things and got away with it.
Yeah,
But with a fight, it's like you're going to be on the floor if you don't do those certain things.
Yeah, I was
Like,
gonna say,
you might not win the show for not doing those things, but you're not going to be knocked out for
Yeah, I
it.
was gonna
Yeah.
say.
So like I was like, no, I have to. I don't want to get knocked out. given myself 10 weeks to do a fight. I don't want to look like a complete idiot. I need to do everything in my power to be the best possible version of myself in the fight. And doing so and giving everything for something like that was kind of just a goal. It was never like a real aspiration of mine in my entire life. That put me off it a bit. Now I just want to focus on the show. And then I probably won't fight again because it was so against my nature. Like that was the biggest.
I was gonna say, it's like the complete opposite of.
Exactly. So now you've conquered bodybuilding, you've conquered boxing.
I wouldn't say I conquered bodybuilding.
Well, not conquered, but like you know what I'm saying. Like you've done it. You've done boxing. Now you need to go do a triathlon.
No, so actually, I've set a goal for next year.
That is actually
my next goal for next year is Sony to see.
Okay.
So
and what is that? That's cycling.
3-day cycling event.
Oh.
I'm gonna do that with my dad. So it's like 86 Ks. So it's 260 something Ks over 3 days.
But it's off-road, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, mountain biking.
Yeah.
So it's in the Drakensberg.
Oh, that's pain.
I think it's in the Drakensberg, or it's in somewhere like KZN or something.
Yeah, that's a nice
And
one.
then 3 days you pay. I think it's like 10,000 rand. Then they pay for all your food, all of that and stuff. They get you up with tents and stuff in the evening, masseuses, all of that stuff.
Nice.
So after this show, that will be my goal next year. I'll leave the bodybuilding to Kieran. Kieran's gonna take over.
Yeah.
He already has.
I still need to do another show as well because I've only done one show.
I was gonna ask you what's
I've
your
only
plan?
done one show, so I still need to because I also want to move out like at some stage, just stop the bodybuilding, train obviously, but then also do like cycling stuff.
A fight.
Get into that. I did say
What do
that
you think
to
if
Rowan
you-
actually,
if
but
you
I don't know
were,
if I will.
like, let's say, had to stop bodybuilding, competing, what would you do?
I think it's just gonna be
Food eating competition.
No, listen. No
Hot dogs.
No, dude, I don't know, bro. I definitely think anything cycling related. I've always enjoyed cycling. And if I could get into that a little bit more, like, I think that's definitely the safest bet, to be honest. Because, dude, after this injury, clearly my body is not meant to go through these things of playing sports anymore or anything. Because I've always, like, if I could even go play rugby again.
Maybe golf, bro.
Even that, dude, if I could get into golf, but then, that's an expensive one.
Yeah,
Or
so
cycling's
cycling, yeah.
So it doesn't really matter.
Well,
you still got to drop
you can still
50K on the
compete, so
bike.
you at least don't have to
But
think
that's the
about
thing, dude. Like, I mean, look, my legs now aren't competition worthy, but luckily I wear board shorts. So my calves, I can prep my calves. I won't prep my quads. So I was thinking of it the other day. Like,
Do they judge on your
I
calves?
think even
Not
guys
athletic
like I think
physique.
even pro bodybuilders and stuff like that, they always think like, okay, if I could not bodybuild, like it was absolutely impossible for me to do it anymore. Like, what would I do
afterwards.
Yeah.
Look,
So what do you like? What would you do?
What do you?
I'd go back to motocross.
Okay, yeah, you see now,
Straight
that's
away.
fun though. I would also.
But you can do bodybuilding and motocross. Obviously, you don't want to risk injuries.
So, I mean, like I've got mates that ask me like every weekend, because I've got a lot of guys that they still go ride and stuff like that. And I sold my bike ages ago, and they always ask me to come because I know they've got a spare bike and stuff like that. And my dad's got his bikes and stuff, so I can ask him and just borrow one. I'm too scared to during prep.
You see, I would.
If I was in my off season, then
it.
I'd go and mess around on the bike and stuff like that because I obviously raced for like years, and then in my high school stopped racing, but I still took it like very serious. Like I still rode every weekend and stuff, and then. But during prep, I'm just too scared, bro.
Yeah,
It takes because honestly, like anyone that rides motocross like has had crashes.
No, it's dangerous.
Like,
Very, very dangerous.
And it takes one crash to just go slightly wrong, and then you're kind of screwed,
Yeah.
So you see, I would love to do that, but I think after this thing now, I don't think motocross is going to be my next hobby. Because if I'm luck, I will fall off the motorbike, and then next minute the knees are both gone.
No, listen.
But I mean, a bicycle's just as bad. I could go down a downhill and then.
Yeah, whether you're a pro or someone that's just starting out on a bike, whether it's enduro, motocross, whatever, you're still gonna fall.
Yeah.
It's impossible. You are going to fall.
Yeah. No. I'll just have to do a few more shows and then I'll start.
I was gonna say, but I was gonna say.
No,
So you do a
I'm
next
happy
year.
where I'm at.
I think
don't want
next
to go
year,
back to motocross.
I
I would rather stay where I'm at.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, I think I'll do next year. I'll just see. Because I was looking, I mean, if you think of it, it would have been, I was meant to do now prep for, I would have done a show now in September because that was, I was prepping for that, one of the shows there. And then I think Boxburg Classic is coming up now as well in November sometime. And I was meant to prep
And
for
Arnold's
that.
as well. You could have even
I was meant to
qualified
prep
for Arnold's.
for Boxburg Classic because I see someone on my Instagram the other day was prepping for it. So I was like, oh, I was meant to do that show as well. It broke my heart. I was like, fuck, I really want to do that. But I think, next year, look, either way, I think I'm going to be at a disadvantage when it comes to legs. Not that I get marked on legs. So for athletic physique, they don't mark on legs. Because,
men's physique in general, they're not.
Men's physique in general, they don't mark on legs. You could have the biggest quads under your board shorts, and it means absolutely.
It definitely looks good on stage. You see, like a guy with
better,
board shorts, you can still see that he has legs underneath his board shorts.
Yeah.
Some guys get on stage and it looks like they've got like. It's hard to explain.
There was even a few of that at the Olympia, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of guys.
They just have no legs. Like you can see the teardrop, and it's like there's no teardrop.
Yeah.
There's no muscle around the knee. Like you can see a little bit of above the knee, and it's terrible.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the Olympia, bro. What do you think about open bodybuilding now? Like the standard.
To be honest,
the athletes.
I don't know. A lot of people might not agree with me and stuff like that, but I don't believe that open bodybuilding is carrying bodybuilding at the moment.
Oh, classic for sure.
I think classic. Even in the women's divisions, I think wellness, because this is the first year that wellness was at the Olympia, and I think it just blew everyone
those girls
away.
look
like
better
the
than
bikini
bikini.
athletes look incredible, but the wellness athletes were just like,
What is the level for wellness though?
So wellness is basically. It's like the bikini, but obviously they are a lot more
bigger,
quad dominant. So
bigger legs.
Oh yes, wellness. Yes, I remember.
And
speaking
they're still very lean.
Yeah,
they still get very. Even the bikini girls at the Olympia also get crazy lean.
Yeah.
So there it's kind of like they're also just as lean, but they've got a lot more muscle on them, especially on their lower half.
Yeah.
Wellness is nice, but I think if you had to see those girls in person, you might think they're too big. Like obviously personal preference, all of that, but you see people on social media, like, okay, they're not that big. Then you see them in person, like, that person's actually a lot bigger than what they thought.
But I definitely think classics carrying things at the moment.
Yeah, for sure.
They definitely 100%. Look better, though. Like, you look at Chris Bumstead.
The lineups are so competitive.
But he looks...
it's more appealing.
Although the open bodybuilding lineup, honestly, it was insane. Like, I think it was definitely one of the best Olympics we had in the last few years.
Like, it's...
Especially with the younger guys, like, what's his name, Hunter, and things like that, coming up out of, like, like I said, they're so young. I think they're like 26.
Yeah.
And they're placing like top 4, top 5 at the Olympia. Like, it's crazy.
What do you, because you obviously want to have a goal of going to the Olympia. I mean, you wouldn't be doing this if you didn't want to. Yeah. What do you like obviously, and most people in South Africa will say, okay, Kieran, you probably do have a good chance of doing that, fulfilling that dream. Like, what do you think about these other people that you look at them and you're like, bro, you're never going to go to Olympia? Like, I understand, like, I never want to like downgrade people's dreams and don't allow them to dream, because if people, even Elon Musk, the guy, the head of Shark Tank, whatever, said if Elon Musk came to him with the idea of Tesla, he would have turned him away. So, like, there's so many things that, you can't discredit
your
someone.
Goals should always be obviously big. Like, for me, going to the Olympia is that's like an extremely like massive goal. That's like, there's very few people that are able to do that. But the thing is, I also understand that. But I still believe that if I work hard enough, I can.
Yeah.
Some guys, obviously, because genetics does play a massive role in bodybuilding. So if you just genuinely aren't genetically blessed, your chances of getting to the Olympia one day, or maybe even going pro, do obviously get cut a bit.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, always dream, always shoot for the stars. But at the end of the day, if you can't even win a local show, how are you ever going to go to the Olympia if you can't even win in a...
I mean, everyone has their time. I mean, like 3 years ago, I would...
No, of course.
Yeah, but so, I mean, I think, there's a time for everything, but at the same time, it just, like you said,
well, I think
dream big, but it needs to be realistic.
Yeah. Kieran's got age to play with still, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, no, well, I'm being serious. You think of it, Chris Bumstead is what? How old
26.
26.
He's only 26.
He's 26.
Never.
I promise.
Hey? He's a year older than us, and he looks like that.
Oh, he's a year older than you guys. Not
me.
You've
got an extra...
I'm 22, bro.
Jeez, nah,
you've got 4 years.
I'm 23 in January, so I forgot when my birthday was.
You still got time, relax yourself.
No, but I mean, Chris, he was already pro at like, what, 22?
But still, 26.
Hopefully I'll be pro at 22 as well.
Are you willing to do everything they do to get to that level?
In terms of,
everything. Every single decision that they make.
If it benefits me and if it's like truly what I want and,
the
life I live out of it is a life that makes me happy, then yeah.
To get so you'll do absolutely everything that they do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think going overseas would be a start, bro. Being serious, bro. That's where the Oaks do it. I mean, what? It's not like we have South Africans going there. Kieran must move overseas and go start training there.
But
Then we'll see.
that's the thing. Do you move there to pursue this dream?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Or do you stay here and actually make money? Because you go there, you're going to have to find a new job. You're going to have to try and get a sponsor to pay money and what.
So, I mean, I know you and I have had this conversation. If you can make good money in this country, yes, this country definitely has its issues, 100%. But every country does, right? So wherever you go, you're still going to experience issues in some way or another. Like, there's no better. It's honestly, it's just different, right? So, I think if you can make a good living here, then you're fine.
Yeah.
You know, you really are, like, you're fine. And I mean, like you said, a lot of guys think that, okay, if they go pro and they're competing at the Olympia, stuff like that, you have to live in the States or whatever the case is so that you could. I mean, I don't believe that necessarily.
Yeah.
Because
maybe only in terms of getting good sponsors. Because that, like, let's say
there are still guys that don't stay in the States and stuff like that. That are top 3, top 4, top 5 at the Olympia that have great sponsors.
Yeah,
so it can still be done.
But listen, those sponsors are sponsoring that athlete, but that athlete still lives in a country where that product is available.
That's what I was saying. And
now they're not going to say, okay, Kieran, let's pay you 100,000 rand to promote our product a month, but that product is not even in South Africa. Or they know, okay, South Africa's got a terrible market. Like Yakuda Brain, right? He was getting good money from, what is that, EHP Labs.
Isn't he still sponsored by EHP?
I don't know. But regardless.
I'm pretty sure I always see him posting about it.
At least initially he was getting good money.
Yeah.
He was getting good money, not for his South African audience. He was getting good money for his overseas audience.
Yeah, 100%.
So if you have an amazing overseas American, Australian following, then maybe you can get a good sponsor from, you know, a supplement company like that. But you need to have that following. Whereas if you just, like, he was obviously just fortunate enough to get that following first.
Yeah.
So, and he obviously went overseas.
He's got a huge following.
Yeah.
But do you think that ties in with, do you think this whole topic now just ties in with the idea that South African bodybuilding is not as recognized as what you overseas?
Not yet.
Not yet.
In terms of like the general public.
I'm saying the general public. Like, I mean, like, if you go there, like, you look at your Saudi Arabians, you look at Big Ramy and all of them.
No, 100%.
There, to them, bodybuilding, they are recognized as icons in their country. Like, everyone worships that man for the person he is, for the size that he is and what he's gone to achieve. Whereas us here, it's like, okay, cool, Kieran's just won a show. Oh, well, fuck, good. Well done, good job.
I think in South Africa,
Carry on with our daily lives. You see what I'm saying? Like,
I agree with you, but also over the last like 3-4 years, it has also grown like massively, like huge.
No,
It's not even comparable.
Yeah.
Like, when I started competing compared to now, the industry's grown like ridiculous. And I started competing when I was 19. I'm 22 now. So what?
3 years.
3 years. It's not even that long, you know? So, I mean, if it carries on the way it does and if it's done properly, then give it another, 3-4 years, it could be completely
But also, when I did WBFF, I competed with 66 other guys in my lineup. You'll never get a show with 66 people.
I was going to say, WBFF was huge then.
Then
now,
it died. So WBFF was massive.
Yeah.
Then the next year, let's just say 2 years later when I went to NPC and did, what is the first show? It was Muscle Militia. How many Oaks were in the lineup? Like 12, 15 max?
I can't even remember.
So like max 15.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of different federations. Whereas when WBFF was around, everyone's like, I want to do WBFF.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's like, okay, I'm going to do IFBB Pro Elite, or I'm going to do NPC, or I'm going to do whatever.
But even
show.
now, the people that are in IPB, the Elite Pro Federation, the people that are already pros in that federation are coming over to NPC.
Yeah.
But I think everyone's moving over to NPC because firstly, obviously, NPC is Olympia.
See, I was going to say,
it's the most recognized
That's
federation.
the IFBB Pro League. That's
I compete for the government, boy. BBSA is recognized by SESCOC. I compete for the government.
Yeah, at least if you go overseas.
IFBB,
At least if you go overseas and represent your country, you get a tracksuit and every South African.
That's also true.
I see the Worlds is happening now. I saw some of the people already left
that is
yesterday.
true, yeah. That's at least, I'll get a South African sponsorship there, my boy. I get a little tracksuit.
They won't pay anything.
They don't
though.
pay me anything, yeah. But because
Not
it
gonna
is
get a
Sascock.
cent.
I was like,
It is
you're
Sascock
getting a
after all.
tracksuit
They'll
and
use
you'll
it.
go to the capping ceremony, but I think that's kind of where it ends.
that's about as far as it
The
goes.
capping
but-
ceremony will be like at the airport. They will give you a well done certificate. You probably won't even get a certificate.
Yeah, I don't know. But that's what blew my mind. I remember, was it this year? I think it was this year or it was last year. I don't even know. No, it was last year, yeah, because it was your show. I remember then I was waiting. I was sitting last year. I was like, okay, cool, I'll compete. And Sascock tuned, no, COVID regulations and all
I
of
think
that.
they are
And
a
then-
lot stricter.
Yeah, and NPC tuned, stuff that, we're going ahead.
Yeah,
We're gonna,
exactly,
and
that's
they
what
went
I'm
through.
saying, yeah.
And I was like, Sascock, other federations are doing it. Why don't
There's
you
no
let
government
now?
involvement.
And
That's the
but
thing.
obviously it's
Yeah.
government, so it's a whole different.
But still, going to
story.
Worlds for IPB, the elite, it's still a huge thing. Like the guys at Worlds look insane.
Yeah.
Like it's actually, it's crazy. Like the guys, especially in like the open bodybuilding and classic divisions at Worlds, like it's ridiculous. Even the men's physique is insane. There's that guy, what's his name? I followed him for years. That Dimitro Horobets guy, whatever the case. I don't know.
Massive.
I still think he's got one of the best physiques I've ever seen, and he's elite, bro.
No,
he won't
look,
switch to
there's
NPC.
there are some crazy guys out there, bro.
No.
Bro, have you heard the drama with Cricket South Africa, by the way?
With
What's his
Cock.
name?
Quentin, so the whole Black Lives Matter
Yeah, I did see that.
movement.
I did see that.
And,
He refused to take
So
a knee.
explain.
Okay,
'cause
so
I saw a post.
South
I didn't know.
Africa played the West Indies the other day, and CSA said that all Protea cricketers must take the knee when they go onto the field. So now the whole argument has come about now. Quentin refused to do that. So what he did instead is he pulled himself out from the Cricket World Cup or from the T20 World Cup and said, I am not going to take a knee. And if you are unhappy about that, then I will leave the training camp. I don't have to be here. Cool. So we had a discussion in the staff room the other day and that stuff. Quentin de Kock is a man of color, right? And his statement, and we were hoping he was going to say this, and he actually did say it. He said, I'm not against the whole BLM movement, which I mean, you can also agree. I'm not against it.
definitely
You're
agree.
not
I'm not
against
against it at all.
No one in this room is against it. But we support it in our own way that we see fit. And that was his argument. And that's what we were hoping he was going to say. And true as Bob, he said it. He's like, I'm a man of color. My sisters are colored. And all of that stuff. He went on to explain it. He says, I have my own way of showing that I care for black lives. Why do I have to go and kneel on the side of a cricket field in order to show that? I can stand there and I can just do something, put his hand on his chest or whatever it may be, or he can support some foundation or whatever the case may be. Why do I have to do that? So then we got into the topic of, like, okay, so he's done that now. He has apologized, but he did come out what he wanted to say. He told it how it is. But that's the whole thing now. Whereas like sorry with the rugby players don't do that. You don't see them doing it. But Cricket South Africa is so full of politics that it's like, oh no, you have to do it. You have no choice but to do it. And Quentin was like, he gave them the middle finger. He tuned stuff that I'm not doing it. Yes, I support the cause, but I will support it in the way that I see fit, which I fully agree with him in that sense. Like, I'm not against the movement, and neither you two aren't against it either. But you'll have your own way of supporting it, and I think that's how the whole thing is.
I think it
absolute
varies a lot
bullshit,
from
bro.
person to person.
Yeah.
Like for example, I know in my case, if someone said to me like, okay, listen, you have to take a knee, like I would do it.
Was a
100%.
white person,
And I
bro,
know-
if you don't, that's also a problem. Like,
No,
that's also a
100%,
problem.
yeah.
Like, you might,
But the thing is,
obviously,
I wouldn't do
support in
it.
all lives, like, whatever race, you deserve equal rights.
Yes.
But there's also certain things with this, like the Black Lives Matter movement, where protests were done incorrectly, where they maybe weren't peaceful or certain things happened that
Yeah.
shouldn't have happened. So you can be against things that people do within the organization. Like, you must actually go watch Dave Chappelle's comedy special, where he talks about how he's not against like
Yeah.
LGBTQ, whatever,
Yeah.
but he's against things that happen within there that is so propaganda driven and so like there's violence and there's forceful things where you can't even have a voice anymore. So like he's against that, and he's so outspoken about that.
No, definitely. I get what you're
Netflix
saying,
wanted to take it down.
Yeah.
But it's not because he's against it. It's because he's against certain things that happen. I think
Yeah.
also, if you're against violence, but it's not, you're not against the movement. You're just against violence, or you're against things that happen that you don't agree with, but you still agree with everyone deserving rights. But the problem is, like, obviously he's fortunate because he's fortunate because he stood up and he's someone of color.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whereas a white person, I don't think you would be able to, because you would
definitely
never,
would've
you would
been
never had
a
like
lot
no
worse,
ground to
yeah.
stand on.
Yeah.
You'll be completely bombarded with like, no, you're racist. Or
No,
this or
you
that.
will. That's the thing. That's the whole argument, and that's what we were saying. It's what he did was right in a sense, because they tried to pull the card on him. Oh no, you have to do it, and he was like, but I am a man of color. I am a person of color. My family are people of color, and now you want to pull that card out on me.
Yeah.
And how he went about it, which is the correct way, like, we can't keep doing this for the rest of our lives. Yes, we support the movement, we agree with the movement, but you can't forcefully make people do this.
I was
It's
actually,
not-
No, unfortunately, you can never
you
force
can't
people
force
to
them to do it.
things.
It's like, yes, I'm not against it. I support it, but you need to understand.
That's what
Don't
I'm
force
saying.
me
It's-
to do it.
Everyone's very different. Like I said, if it was me in the situation and someone said to me, like, you got to take a knee,
Yeah,
I'd be
then
more
you
than
would.
happy to.
Yeah, me
because if
too,
that's
yeah.
what they want me
Yeah.
to do in order to show that I support them, then I'd happy to do that, because then I'm showing that I support the whole movement. Some people are just like that, where they're like, no.
Yeah.
And like we all know that like most like young kids don't really see color. They don't see race. Like
Yes.
kids play with each other regardless of the
Yeah,
race,
which is
regardless
good.
of the gender, whatever. Kids just want to have fun.
I do believe that that the whole like racism and stuff like that will get better.
Well, I mean,
as years and
there's certain
generations
things
go on.
that things that people do that might be
There's
beneficial or might not.
There's
I was
always
watching a
going
video.
to be things that people do that well, it's just racist.
Yeah,
There's-
but also,
it's always going to
but
be.
what
a
I
thing.
mean was, I was watching a video where there was this kid talking. He was like, at our school, the first day we were told that the people of color have to enter the room first. People of color have to be allowed to get their lunch first. People of color have to be around this. And he's like, we didn't think about color. We didn't think about any of this before you forced us to actively look at someone and be like, okay, they're black. Let me give them a helping hand. Like, that's also causing people to think that someone's different from them.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
instilled.
It should just be, okay, well, you're a human. Maybe
Yeah,
let
you're a
me let
human.
you go first. I'm not letting you go first because you're black. I'm letting you go first because I'm just trying to be kind.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be, okay, and even like with women, it shouldn't be like, let me let this person go first because they're a woman. Let me just let this person go first because it's a nice thing to do, regardless of
it's
the
a nice
color,
thing to
regardless
do.
of the
It's just common
gender.
decency.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
No, it's instilled in people. That's
Yeah.
the thing.
That's the thing. People are
it's instilled.
taught how to
Yes.
see differences
Yes.
and actually kind of
Yeah.
take a difference and then treat that person differently because
sad. That's
they
the
are
reality, though.
of color or they
horrible.
are a different gender or this
Yeah.
or that, and it shouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, but anyway,
What time are we on there, bro?
38.
38. Anything you guys want to talk about? Some funny
I
stories?
was gonna say, what's been going on lately? That's quite interesting.
I saw Logan Paul's going to fight Mike Tyson next year.
Oh, yes.
Are you guys Logan Paul fans?
I
like him, bro.
I
genuinely
also like him.
I
so.
think
Why don't you like him?
I just think they're a disgrace to the sport.
Is it?
Honestly.
Okay, yeah, to the sport, but outside of the
bro.
sport. Don't worry about
No,
the
you don't
sport.
think
No.
so? I do.
After doing boxing,
It's
I
just
know
my-
what it takes.
No, 100%.
No, listen.
100%.
I thought that, he's not that good, whatever. Then
I'm not saying he's not
No,
good.
listen. Listen. Boxing, down to it, is, you are going against someone else, and it's the most lonely place in the world. No one's going to help you in there. No
100%,
one's going to do
yeah.
anything to assist you. To just do that and just to get in the ring, bro, it takes, I promise you, I wanted to quit a million
No,
times.
definitely. No,
So
I
like
agree
he
with
has
you
pushed
100%
himself,
there,
and
yeah.
yes, of course, he's getting more money than like actual people
That's
that have
my
been
thing.
doing
I
it for
don't
10
believe
years.
He does it because of the love and passion.
No,
that
he's
he
doing it
has
for the money,
sport.
straight up. But
It's
neither does
because
Floyd
of how much-
Mayweather. Bro,
No,
not-
of course not.
Floyd
No,
Mayweather
no
literally
way.
said after a fight with Logan or a fight with anyone, he's like, "This is legal robbery." I'm getting 20 million rand for fighting someone.
Exactly.
Like for him, it's about the money as well. It's not about the art of boxing or the love of the sport.
If Logan Paul was to, out of the blue, not that he ever would, but like message me on, let's say, Instagram or something, and say, okay, we're going to fight. If the winner gets, I don't know, like $20 million, loser gets 10. I'd honestly just let him hit me.
Yeah.
I'd just be like, okay. Well,
But either way, but like you say, see, you speaking from a boxing perspective, like him and Jake, bro, you still, regardless, like you say, you are prepping for a fight. It's not like you can go half-heartedly there. You still have to train. You have to put in the hours. You got to do it. So people are like, it's it's a joke to the sport. It's not necessarily, because the Oaks are still having to get in there.
I hope Mike Tyson
and
will.
train.
But it'll be rigged. It'll be rigged.
No, of course it will.
The same way the Floyd Mayweather fight was rigged.
But did you
No,
see?
it'll, of course it will.
It's rigged, bro. It's WWE. It's the same thing. No, literally, bro.
Yeah.
I've read many professional boxers posts about it.
Yeah.
Like, I personally, looking at it, I don't have enough experience to tell how real, how fake it is. But the amount of people that I've seen that is like, it's a fake fight. Even the Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr., I mean, they were both 50-something when they fought. Firstly, they weren't allowed to knock each other out. Well, they could knock each other out, but it doesn't really, you don't go for a knockout. It was, I don't know how many rounds or whatever, but all of it was staged.
Yeah, but that's
And there's professional fighters who said, like, this is all fake.
But like planned in advance. Like, okay, this is the way it's going to go.
Yeah, I would not doubt if literally like Logan's team met with Floyd Mayweather's team and be like, okay, this is what we're going to do in this round. This is what we're going to do in that round.
That's what I saw. I literally saw that the other day on Facebook. Tyron Woodley came out after the fight and he said, but I was told not to knock Jake Paul out. He got paid extra to not, because if you look at that fight, he had Jake Paul, like he had one hit that hit him and Jake Paul went into the ropes. And now as a boxer, you see that now, and as he goes on the ropes, you're going to go for him, because if he stands up, if he's able to get up off the ropes, you're going to hit him again. So he stays back down. And Tyron Woodley stood back and left him. And he was like,
sports in general has just become less about sport and more about money. It's just business.
Yeah.
That's
all it is. Same as the football, bro. It's all money now.
Business.
It's all money, but that's the whole thing. Like, it's Oaks are like in the football. Obviously, I watch my Premier League and all of that cuck. But they want to go to a club. They want £500,000 a week.
It's crazy.
Like, bro, why do you want so much money? Okay, you're getting paid this salary now. Why
because
can't you
they
stick
know
with
that they can push for that.
Yes, I know. I understand that fully. But now you're just not really playing football for the game of football. You're doing it because I'm scoring 5 goals a week now, or 6 goals a week. I deserve a bit more. Now I want £500,000 a week. Like, I mean, geez, like it.
But I think at the end of the day, all these
I'm
sports,
gonna be honest, soccer is honestly like my least favorite sport in the whole world. I hate soccer with a passion. I just can't.
It's just boring.
It's just I just can't.
Well, bro, even if you look at rugby, you look at these oaks that go to Japan to play rugby.
Oh, yeah.
It's not because they love rugby. It's because they're getting paid more. It's about the money.
Look at Francois Hooggaard.
Yeah.
I mean, he does probably love the sport, 100%. I mean, and he was a Springbok, and he was a great player.
Yeah.
He went to the UK. It's not like he's playing for the international side or anything.
Yeah.
He's playing for the clubs and stuff.
But
But he's also driving Lamborghinis and Range Rovers and, you know.
Good life, bro.
I would also do it for the money.
Yeah,
Like,
would.
obviously,
Anyone would.
you're still playing the game. You're still enjoying the game.
Yeah.
You're a big whoop that maybe you can't represent your
At the end
country
of
or
the day-
you can't play at the club that you used to
But at the end
watch.
of the day, if someone has an opportunity to make a ton of money doing something that they enjoy doing, they're going to do it.
Yeah.
You know, if you've got the option of, you can stay loyal to your country and play for the Springboks, or you can go over here, play for this club. It's not an international side or anything like that, but you're still playing the sport that you like. But you are also going to be earning 10 times.
Yeah, but that's
any person's going to be like, okay, cool.
That's what our thing with Quinton was, that we were speaking about Quinton de Kock as well. Like, he can happily now, if he obviously doesn't believe that he wants to be on the represent South Africa anymore, he's just going to be like, cool, I'm going to go play RPL and I'm going to make 20 million a year and I'm going to make more than what I do playing representing the Proteas, bro. Which is true. He can go there. Those Oaks in the IPL make sick amounts of money.
Yeah.
So who says you have to represent your country? You don't have to. If your country does, if they like go against something that you've done, it's like, okay, cool. If you don't want me, I'll go. and then I'm recognized overseas. And that's the same as Francois Hougaard. Francois Hougaard, yes, okay, he played for the Boks, but he saw he's like, okay, I'm not getting as much game time now. More oaks are coming through. Let me go overseas. The man's making, I mean, like you said, drives a Range Rover. He's got a Lamborghini as his weekend car.
I don't think he's a part of it anymore, but he had a pretty big clothing brand.
Exactly, and his house is massive in the UK.
It was called, what's it, Gold Street.
Yes.
I've got a few shirts from there.
Yeah, no, he lives a good life over there, bro. And that's
Yeah,
why
he
you
did.
find
100%.
all of our sportsmen end up going overseas and playing club rugby there, because club rugby you get more money there than what you do representing
Even
Lions
my
here
younger
in
brother's
Joburg.
got the same. He's going to go to the UK and he's going to play rugby there.
Yeah, no, because
In South Africa, the money is terrible. I mean, I was chatting to a guy, and he was saying the average professional cyclist, obviously not a lot of money in cycling, the average professional cyclist,
But they should be, because
Professional.
a bicycle costs what?
No, I know.
200,000-300,000
a
rand.
professional cyclist in South Africa, average 5,000 to 10,000 rand. You can't just do
That's
it. You have to have a job. You have to have a job.
Yeah.
You
It's
can't-
impossible
yeah,
for
it's
anyone.
literally
You
impossible
can't live
to be
unless...
unless you're like the best in South Africa, but then you still go overseas.
Yeah.
You still got like Ryan Gibbons. That's a guy who on
I was
my
going to say,
podcast.
unless you are sponsored by Adidas or Nike,
Yeah.
or a big name brand. Like if you look at Wade van der Kerk, he probably wasn't getting paid a lot from being a pro athlete, but his sponsors from Adidas and Audi and all of that kind of stuff
Yeah, that's when it
probably
comes
pay
in,
him
yeah.
ridiculously.
But that's the thing. That's where it does come in. Though it's the same
But
as
that's
those,
the same with every sport, even
Yeah.
bodybuilding. Chris Bumstead, all the money he makes, because I mean, look, the Open Olympias, Rami made what, $450,000.
Yeah, I
Chris
think
takes
which is
what,
not a lot for a year to live the lives that they live.
but Chris takes what, 40, 50
Yeah.
for winning?
Yeah, I think so.
It's not
yeah.
fair. at
I think it
all,
was
in
like
my opinion.
$20,000
But-
for the men's physique winner. We're like, you can't do one show a year and live off $20,000.
$20,000.
Even
Yeah.
like look at Logan Franklin. He didn't even win a show this year. He didn't make it to Olympia. He didn't compete at the Olympia. He's never won the Olympia.
So he technically got zero money the whole year for competing.
But he's still wealthy because his sponsorships pay him like crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
He's still
Also,
got...
his online training and everything.
Oh,
and
yeah, all of that. But
that's obviously where followers come in. Because I mean, let's say you got 200,000 followers.
look at someone, Noel Dazel. He's got more subscribers on Instagram at the moment than CBAM does.
Yeah.
Does he?
Yeah.
Jeez, like, that's
Your
heavy.
social media is like one of the most powerful
course.
tools.
Noel, we're still waiting for you to come on the podcast.
I don't
Yeah,
think it's going to happen, bro.
Just saying.
It's not going to happen. So I got a question the other day on Instagram. People I will say, they're stupid, bro. This guy asked me, he's like, do you make more money from business that you do or from YouTube?
Oh my god.
And I was like, bro, have you seen how many subscribers I got? I got like 2,300
Yeah, I know, look,
subscribers.
more, bro.
The most, I've got 1,200 Rand from YouTube in my entire existence on YouTube. So unfortunately, and it's quite sad, yeah, I make more money.
But
off YouTube.
it's
I'm
so
joking.
heartbreaking, bro. Dude, like, I mean, last night I was on YouTube. I follow, like, obviously Logan's mate, Mike.
Yeah.
Mike Malek. Bro, Mike Malek posted a video last night. Literally 10 minutes, you check there. Posted 10 minutes ago. 81,000 views. And I'm like, it was 10 minutes ago, my bro. And you're on 81,000 views. I was
And all the guys that are big on YouTube and stuff like that, they have merch.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's overseas, my bro.
So
At the end of the day,
I know
it's
Logan
overseas.
Paul, he made $1,000 in 8 hours. I mean, $1 million in 8 hours of his merch shop. When he sold out in 8 hours,
That's
he
the
made
thing.
$1
If
million.
you've got a huge presence and then you've got merch to sell, people buy it.
Yeah.
Even look at like CBAM. His YouTube following is still massive. Like
Yeah.
he's got tons of subscribers,
Yeah.
and everyone watches his videos because he makes
Yeah.
good YouTube videos as well. So when he announces a drop for merch, whether it's for Raw Nutrition or one of his own
Yeah.
brands, because he does. I've seen he's done those big photo picture
Yes.
frame stuff like that.
Yeah.
They sell out instantly.
Yeah.
Literally instantly.
Well, bro, if you've got, I think he's got like 900,000 subscribers or something.
Something like
If
that.
you've got 1,000 people buying 500 Rand.
You need literally
like-
not
Yeah.
even 10% of
Yeah.
your following to support you to make.
If you look at his
ridiculous amounts of money.
challenge, if you, obviously on Instagram he's got a lot more followers, but if you get 100,000 people buying a $5,000 or $50 entry,
$50,
$50 entry, I mean, let's just say that's $500,000 that you make off 1 week.
Yeah. But I was looking, dude, look, at the end of the day, YouTube.
I don't know if my maths was right there. I didn't
YouTube
work
is
it
not
out.
a South African. It's not a South African thing, bro.
No, it's not.
It's unfortunately we have to, as South Africans, accept the reality that it's not a South African thing. If you want to make YouTube good, you got to be overseas, and that will be that. Because I even saw. There's this one girl that I know from Northcliffe. She's overseas. She stays, I don't know, like she does China and all of those places with her fiance.
Yeah, they do like vlog, travel vlogs.
Claire, someone, and she and her fiance or boyfriend, I'm not sure, they do the travel vlogs, and they're sitting at like 100,000 subscribers, and obviously South Africans. And she posted a thing the other day on YouTube, and people were like, "Do you make a lot of money from YouTube?" And she was straight up honest. She's like, "No, we make absolutely nothing."
I would say with 100,000 subscribers, I would say maybe like 5,000 rand.
There you go.
I think you were saying what, $50 and 100,000 people buy something for like a shirt or hoodie for $50. 100, yeah, it's 5 million.
Yeah, 5 million.
Yeah, there you go. 5 million.
You
Okay,
see, for me, I think I've got 200,000 views in total out of all my videos.
Yeah.
And that's 1,000 rand worth.
Okay.
So you have to get a 200,000 views a month just to make 1,000 rand.
That's crazy, but nah, this YouTube industry in South Africa is it's
anything, even Instagram in South Africa, to make it big on Instagram, it's very, very difficult.
Well, if you look at every single person that's successful in South Africa, okay, maybe like hip hop artists locally, they do well locally. But if you look at Noel, it's overseas followers. If you look at Yaku, it's overseas followers. If you look at
at least 80% of the followers are
no, there's definitely more people that follow Noel from overseas.
I think us South Africans are just full of guck, if you ask me.
I think as South Africans,
no one wants to see you win in South Africa.
No, the thing is, as South Africans, and it's the same as with bodybuilding in South Africa, how we were talking about how, you know, people don't care as much about bodybuilding in South Africa. It's, as South Africa, we always think it's better there. We always think, no, those athletes are better. We always think that, no, those Instagram celebrities are better there. They are always better there. Let's support them. Let's follow them, because it's always green on the other side. It's always more fun over there. Whereas, you know, our hip hop artists here are amazing. Our bodybuilders here are amazing. Like, why not support local as well?
Exactly.
Like our rugby player, obviously, I think like rugby and cricket, people are supportive of our local teams. But if you look at soccer, no one cares about soccer really in South Africa. Like the greater country don't really care about South Africa. Like you always think, let's look at the England teams. Let's look at you know.
I was gonna say, so like when everyone's like, oh, Man United's playing, whatever the case is, you know. People were all like, apparently Man United got absolutely wrecked last week.
My team, yes. Beat them 5-0.
So that's like all over social media, everything like that. Whereas if it was
Bafana, they got wrecked 5-0. No one give a shit, bro. All Kaiser Chiefs got hammered 5-0. So just make the newspaper and you've forgotten about it.
No one on social media and stuff like that is ranting about it and stuff like that.
Exactly. That's the reality, bro. South Africa, we are very special and unique people in this country. That's for damn sure, my bro. But
guys, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having us, bro.
Thanks, K-Bum. Thanks, Oscar.
Oscar. Nice.